What does art even mean nowadays? Because it used to be painting, sculptures, maybe even some prints, whatever you could find from your local unemployed person, that was the art. But nowadays, everything's art. The videos that we create online, the things that we made with our 3D printers, the slime art, everything is art nowadays. But truly, where does the line fall? Because it can't all be art, or else then what would our standards be? And now on the horizon, we have a completely new form of art, AI art, anything generated by AI. People are using this, calling it art, but is it truly, just because somebody made it, they put the time in and the creativity, does it really make it art? Well, in today's video, that's what we're gonna try and decide. So stay tuned to the end to figure out if AI art truly is art. Let's get right into it. So before we go too far, we gotta see what art really means. The definition of art is the expression or application of human skill and creativity. So just from that definition, everything's considered art, I guess, because to live, to cause action within our day, it takes human cause and, well, maybe not creativity or imagine, maybe not everything is art then. What constitutes taking our creativity and our imagination? Well, creativity has to come from somewhere. The idea or a thought, maybe that somebody else has never done that thing, or just the drive to try doing something new for yourself. That's where true creativity comes from. But watching other people create or finding inspiration from things online, that starts to remove the true aspect of creativity. It would be almost impossible for us to just come up with things out of thin air, just pop into our head without inspiration from other people. But how much does that inspiration affect true creativity? And maybe discount it completely. If we're just getting full-on inspiration from other people's AI prompts and not making anything ourselves, what part of that is creative? What part of that is art? Creativity comes from just thinking of something, making it happen, and not stealing it from somewhere else. AI, by nature, it's trained to create based off of other images that it's seen in the past. Everything else online. So you're not truly making anything original. You're just copying what else the AI's seen online. So no matter what prompt you put in, it's still not going to be completely original. It's going to have basis on other people's content and maybe even similar looks. So that's not something you want as an artist, is it? All right, so I think we've made a little bit of headway here. Now that we know what the definition of art is, and we see how it's viewed in society and how AI art is viewed in society, we know that really all it takes to be defined as art is a human to put a little bit of thought into it, and then technically it's classified as art. So if somebody can just think it, do it, and deem it art, what separates that from all the other slop and stuff that's just out there for no reason? Well, I think the true differentiator for art is intention. The intention that you put into your piece, the intention that it has going out into the world. These are all important, very, very important parts of the art itself and what I think truly adds value to art. One person can make one piece with no intention, no care. They're just doing it to do it. And another person can make the exact same piece, but with love, intention, hope, maybe even anger. Maybe it's a different emotion. When you input emotion into your art, I find it gives it true value and intention and raises it above all the other art out there that's being created for no reason whatsoever. So how do we add intention into our art? And what does intention even look like within art? Well, let's take a look at some examples right now. So when you see this painting, what do you think of? I find it to be a very divisive one for most people because really without care for the art or understanding of its intention, this could be perceived as nothing really. Paint splatters on a canvas that most people will not appreciate. And that's art, isn't it? Without knowing its backstory, without the placard underneath it at a museum, how are you supposed to know what an artist meant by it? without giving it your full effort and thought, intentions beyond what may be perceived visually, it's nothing. And really, that is what differentiates this from that. Yeah, that's what AI came up with when I asked it to recreate this picture. What's the difference, really? Well, one is a soulless creation that is a recreation of something else that has soul, and one is the original that has true intention, meaning, and care put into it. I actually met the woman who painted this and got to hear her story behind the painting. That's why it has some value to me, and I can understand its beauty. But without that understanding, without the perception of the story, the pain she went through going through chemotherapy, and the overall treasures of her life, and everything that she put into this painting and her other works, without knowing the previous story, the person that she is, why would you care about this painting? You've got to make up a story within your head, and if you're not a person who values art just for its story and intention, then why even do that? So really, at its core, art has the two intentions holding its value afloat: the intentions of the artist and the intentions of the viewer. If the viewer has no intentions of caring, that stops at that first wall. You can only add what you can as the artist, and then if the person doesn't care past that, it stops there. And then you've got to wait for the next person to hopefully give it intention and care. And then as a perceiver of art, we give it value with our eyes, with our hearts, with our minds. The value that we can add to art just by observing and caring about it, it is immense. So in this large complaint of, oh, AI art, is it real? Is it valuable? What is it going to do for our society? Well, it all depends, I guess, how much care we put into it as people. And honestly, I am a little shocked, to say the least. I would think just people would dismiss it. It wouldn't be much of anything, and obviously it's lesser. But AI art has taken over. It is all we see on social media, in the reels, especially on Facebook. And the people who probably would morally hate it the most are loving it, resharing it, thinking it's completely real and just amazing. Well, before AI recreates too many more versions of this, I'm taking it with me. But don't forget, guys, we create the value to art with our minds, with our eyes, our mouths, our heart, all of us as a collective. What we can contribute to art beyond it just being created is what inherently creates its value and differentiates what true art is from false art. So go out, find some art, make some commentary on it, or observe it, share it with your friends, and then go that AI slop that you see.